Hey guys, Youthful Yields here. I'm going to be going over the portfolio performance for my portfolio for this week. So yeah, let's get into it. So, firstly, very awful, week. There was the tariffs. There was what was the other thing? Uh, Job stuff with the unemployment, as well as just um, job growth announcements. So both of those, which really sucks because there were very good earnings this week. Microsoft somehow came out alive. This is one of the ones that did very well. But there is some here that did well and just didn't even like turn out to be green. So not very nice. In fact, we went down quite a bit. So for this week, we are down 1.21%, or sorry, 2.35%. So just a little bit actually better than SPY, which it makes me feel very great, obviously, but still not very good. A lot of that performance loss came from Composer itself, and I'll get into that shortly. But we actually went up on Webull, and that makes sense because it's a short position, so there's that. And then M1 Finance actually did very well. Like it did only lost 1.64%. So that's almost 1 whole% difference between SPY, which is kind of interesting. So Webull is at 213.15 right now. That is a $24 improvement from last week, which is nice. And we can go into M1 Finance here real quick. I'll go over if I had any dividends. So that would be the 27th. It doesn't look like I had any dividends there. So I did swap out United Healthcare and Enphase for Shell and ABBV. So there's that. And yeah, so let's get into the portfolio performance on this per sector. So you can see here, semiconductors did the best, but very marginally beat. And the biggest one there was from AMD. So another 3% from AMD. By far our best company, I think, that we've invested in. I'll look at that in a second as well. They've changed their website a little bit, so I'm not sure why the sorting isn't persistent, but whatever. Utilities as well. We have Duke Energy there. ESSO had earnings, but honestly didn't really get affected at all. And there's NextEra as well. In terms of the worst performing ones, we have real estate with the lowest performance or lowest drop from AMT. They had earnings as well, I believe. So not very good, down 7% on that. And financials, there was Visa there. I think they had earnings as well. So just a big earnings cycle. And last but not least, consumer staples here at lowest one, Procter & Gamble. They also had earnings. So going over our holdings as they currently stand, the highest one is AMD at 64% increase cumulative. Obviously unrealized, but still very good. And then NVIDIA with 44 and Broadcom at 38. So really the top three are just semiconductor companies, which is very good for us. But yeah, and in terms of the top losers, we have Procter & Gamble, Costco, and Visa, which, I think give these guys time and they'll be back up. Some of these other ones, like we have a lot more red now, but that's just because of the state of the market, especially with something like Shell and where's ABBV? That's actually up 3% already. So I think they also had earnings all around, like I said. So, but up 8% since some amount. I wish I could technically say how much I've earned since starting this new balanced portfolio, but I don't really know. So, but pretty good. And then moving into Composer, unfortunately, like I said, we went down quite a bit on all of these. You can see Friday was a very bloody day for us. The current loser of the bunch is the Avenue, which is actually funny because this one was doing the best recently. So, oh, you know what? I really dislike how they hide these by default, but I'll show you those there. So you can see how the avenue was up actually partially, and then it all went down. I do really feel comfortable with these, most of these at least. For the most part, I might be switching some stuff up. I've made some more improvements to how I rank these strategies. So, but these still are all pretty good strategies. So I'm confident. This is just a tough time for the market. You know, the strategies like this happened as well. The last time tariffs were announced in April, they all fell and then they grew and they went right back up. And our biggest holding right now is actually TQQQ at 15%, but we do have a lot of safe positions such as Bill, TMV, and TLT. So there's that, and then there's also some other stuff like consumer staples and a little bit more tech. So I do feel like we're gonna go up. It's just a matter of time. But yeah, I know this is kind of a later video on Sunday. I usually do them a little earlier. It's very busy today, but getting it out now. And yeah, as always, I wish you guys a wealthy future.